Good morning, this is Gary Davidson with Savviety. In today's screencast, we will be demonstrating the ability to receive object projection data from a management server using the Savviety Service Manager Web API. We're going to do this by making a REST call, and we'll receive the response in a JSON format. Let's start the server. Wait for Google Chrome to show us that it's running. There we go. And then we're going to use the Postman application from the Google Play Store. Seems to be invaluable when doing this type of work. And we're going to send to a URL with an ID query parameter. The ID query parameter is the type projection ID. We need the type projection ID due to the way that System Center Service Manager is configured. And when you write your application, the IDs are readily available in the Service Manager API. At any point, the ID is always a property of any object that you're using. We're posting XML in the System Center criteria format. This also can be achieved when you use the Service Manager API to create a criteria object and then just call the toXML property, and you'll retrieve this. So I'm going to hit send, and sending the request. And we have received some really nice JSON here. Now let's copy our JSON and try to use our little formatter here. And there we have nicely formatted JSON for that particular type projection. So what we have here at the top is the ID of the type projection, the base ID of the object, some metadata, and then we have a reviewer. This is the activity has reviewer type projection, and we can see the data. We send a lot of data in, metadata here, that can be used in developing your own custom screens and custom data. The only real data that we need sent back, however, is the base ID and the state along with the properties. We do a property match based on names, so you will have to send that back. We have an example of that in our Postman that I can show you in this put where we save the object projection. So let me grab that, then put that in the screen, clear this out, and then we paste our data. And what we have here is the data that was posted. We have an ID at the top, which indicates the type projection ID. And then we have data. The primary object is identified by the ID variable there with the GUID. And then you have various properties set and so forth. On enums, we use only the ID, but if the ID is missing, we will try to match on the text. We also send it the same way so that you don't have to do a lookup. And notice this activity has a relationship. The system reviewer activity has reviewer, and it is a one-to-many relationship, so it's represented by an array of items. Inside this particular object, we have a one-to-one relationship, system is reviewer. And if you'll notice that the relationship IDs indicate the actual relationship, so that when we get this data, we can determine how to save it to the management server. One note, all these GUIDs and other related information you see here are available with the JSON serializer. Also, when you are working in an external system, you're going to have to do a little bit more work. We do provide constants and other lookup helper methods for GUIDs and class names and so forth, But since you don't have a management server, there is somewhat of a reduced amount of functionality in the API. That's all for today. I hope you've enjoyed this webcast, and we will have another one shortly. Thank you.